Today in cannabis news, after a rejection from the state Supreme Court, Florida cannabis advocates submit a new legalization proposal for the 2022 ballot. Amazon states that staff and applicants who were terminated or disqualified due to cannabis screenings are now allowed to be employed with the corporation as it lobbies for federal cannabis legalization in the U.S. And state legislators in Rhode Island are very close to reaching an agreement on legalizing cannabis before a potential special session, according to a leading state senator. It's Wednesday, September 22nd, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California, it's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, following earlier iterations of the legislation being blocked by the state Supreme Court previously this year, Florida cannabis advocates have filed a new motion with the state to put recreational cannabis legalization on the ballot in 2022. Adults 21 years or older would be allowed to consume and carry cannabis under the constitutional amendment proposal, which was cleared for preliminary signature collecting last week. They also could cultivate up to 9 individual plants, but retail transaction would be excluded from the proposal. The ballot descriptions were ruled to be affirmatively misleading by most of the justices because they stated that recreational cannabis would be legalized statewide without specifically noting that it would stay prohibited within federal statute. Regulate Florida has taken lengths to make it clear its latest proposal does not purport to give immunity under federal law. The organization also removed wording on limited use of cannabis from its proposal, which resulted in rejection by the court previously this year.
Next up, as backing for federal cannabis legalization grows, the Amazon Corporation is loosening its cannabis testing requirements even more. Amazon HR manager Beth Galletti published in a blog post this week that the corporation had reinstated employment eligibility for previous applicants and employees who were rejected or terminated due to randomized or pre-employment cannabis testing. Amazon initially declared in June that it would cease to conduct cannabis tests on some of its employees. Those who apply for employment controlled by the U.S. Department of Transportation, including truckers and heavy machinery workers, will continue to be screened for the substance. Amazon has been urging its system of contractual delivery services to aggressively promote that they do not check for cannabis consumption as part of a recruitment campaign. Amazon is also pushing the U.S. federal government to make cannabis legal nationwide as the corporation sees the potential for profits. In June, the corporation announced its backing for the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, which seeks to federally decriminalize cannabis, expunge criminal histories, and invest in disadvantaged regions. Galletti stated this week that Amazon had endorsed another proposal, the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act, which was recently introduced in the Senate.
Last up, a leading Rhode Island state senator claims that legislators are very close to striking an agreement on a cannabis legalization proposal that might be considered in a special session this autumn. Although no special session has been scheduled, Senate President Dominic Ruggerio believes an accord on cannabis reforms will be reached in advance of legislators returning to the state house in the months ahead. Advocates and lawmakers have been seeking to unify rival measures from the House, Senate, and Governor Daniel McKee. Although the proposals each include provisions aimed at addressing the negative consequences of cannabis prohibition, the group organized by Reclaim Rhode Island believes they are inadequate. Activists and pro-cannabis legislators have outlined particular provisions they wish to see included, such as allocating half of all cannabis business permits to areas hardest hit by the failed war on drugs. Reclaim Rhode Island is part of a group of 10 civil liberty and drug law reform activist organizations, which includes the ACLU and NAACP chapters in Rhode Island, that recently requested that legislators enact cannabis reforms in the state by the close of 2021.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Tech and Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation wherever you get your podcasts. For trichomes.com, I'm Devin Leal.
And I'm RJ Balde, signing off.